feast at the lotus feet of Shri Shri Radha Natabar, the two dancing lords of our life. We don't often find a temple where Radha and Krishna are dancing. Leave alone Radharani, you don't even find a temple where Krishna is dancing. It's very, very, very rare. Like in the Shastra, it says, oftentimes it says, after many, many lifetimes, you get this. Likewise, after many, many lifetimes, you get to worship the dancing lord of our life, Shri Shri Radha Natavar. Because in most temples, we find Radha and Krishna are standing. Yes, Krishna is Tribhang, he is Shama Sundar, he is three bent, but very rare we find where Krishna is dancing, Radharani is dancing, and Krishna is dancing and also playing the flute. It's a very, very rare form of the Lord that we find. So, at the lotus feet of Shri Shri Radha Natabar, we offer our most respectful obeisances. The lotus feet of Shri Shri Gaura Nitai, Shri Shri Jagannath Vallabh Subhadra, Shri Nrsingadev, and to the whole Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada and our Gurujan. We offer our respected obeisances and pray that by their mercy we can glorify Sri Maryada Purushottam Ramachandra in the right spirit. For those devotees who were there yesterday, we know for the fact that we discussed about Sri Ram. And for those who were in there, just as an FYI, we discussed about Sri Ram yesterday from the Kishkinda Kand, the pastime of Sugriva and Vali, and how Sri Ram protects Sugriva. So we will be continuing on the theme of Sri Ram, not necessarily the same topic, but we will be continuing on the same theme of Maryada Purushottam, Sri Ramachandra. But before we start, let us chant the Mangalacharan prayers, seek auspiciousness from our spiritual superiors like Srila Prabhupada, and then get started in our today's discussion. Kindly chant along if you have the Mangalacharan prayers by heart, and if not, you can hear the verses. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gurave Gaurachandraya, Radhikaya Tadalaye, Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya, Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha, Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya, Hemavadivya Chavisundaraya, Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya, Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste, Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste, Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste, Nityananda Maham Naumi, Sarvananda Karam Param, Harinama Pradam Devam, Avadhuta Shiromani. श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की, श्री नित्यानंद राम की, श्री मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम रामचंद्र भगवान की. The Supreme Lord, whenever he appears, he is always Purushottam. Purusha Uttam. Purusha means personality, and Uttam means first class. Whichever age, whichever incarnation he comes, he is always first class. When he comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is Prema Purushottam. He is Purushottam first class, but he is first class in giving Prem, love of Godhead. When he comes as Krishna, he is Leela Purushottam, again first class. Krishna doesn't settle down for second class. No second class, no third class, always first class. Krishna is like that Indian parent. Sharma ji ka beta, he got 100. Why didn't you get 100? So it is parampara. This parampara. Krishna is like that Indian parent. Always first class. He will never settle down for anything else. So when he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is Prema Purushottam. When he comes as Krishna, Leela Purushottam, he is first class as far as pastimes are considered. And when he comes as Sri Ram, he is again first class. But this time he is first class as Maryada. Maryada Purushottam Ramachandra. Maryada means etiquette. From the life of Sri Ram, we find he always followed etiquette, always followed dharma. Yesterday in the discussion, we were talking about how Bhishma Dev at the time of departure is glorifying Pandavas for the fact that they always followed dharma. And likewise, Sri Ram was like that, always following dharma. Never did Sri Ram follow the path of adharma, dharmic. So we find to that Maryada Purushottam, Sri Ramachandra Bhagavan, whose appearance we celebrated a few days back, he will be the topic of our discussion. One time, when this exile happened, and Sri Ram and Lakshman, when they went for exile, Maya Sita was also there. We see they were there in Panchavati, which is the present day Nasik. Even in Nasik, for those devotees who are from Maharashtra, we'll see that in Nasik you still have a place called the Sita Gufa, the place where Maya Sita lived. So these historic places are still there. Yesterday we were talking about Sugriv and Bali, and we mentioned about Hampi, how these caves and Rishyamukha mountains are still present. And likewise, Maya Sita and Sri Ram and Lakshman were living in Panchavati. And up until this while, everything was perfect. Everything was going okay. The first 12, 13 years, everything was okay. The whole story unfolded in the last 1 year. The kidnapping, Sri Ravan coming in disguise, kidnapping Maya Sita, and then building the bridge and getting back Maya Sita. All this happened in the last 1 year. But very interestingly, we find while this Agyatwas was there, while they were living in the forest, at that point, Lord Shiva, Bholenath, he comes to take darshan of Sri Ram, because his worshipable Lord is Sri Ram. So he comes along with Sati to take darshan of Maryada Purushottam Sri Ramachandra. And Sri Ram comes, he sees Lord Shiva, and he understands that his best devotee is here. And Lord Shiva offers his obeisances to Sri Ram. Lord Shiva chants verses. But at that time, Maya Sita was kidnapped. So Sri Ram was playing the part of a human-like personality where apparently he was crying in separation from Maya Sita. Viraha. He was in separation. So Lord Shiva understood that the Supreme Lord is performing Naravat Leela, human-like pastimes. But Sati looked at Sri Ram and thought, he is Bhagavan? He is God? God is crying? Hey, everything belongs to him. If he wants in one go, he can get his wife. Why is he crying? It doesn't look good. Log kya kahenge? That is the always thing. Log kya kahenge? प्रभु जी वो ठीक है लेकिन लोग क्या कहेंगे? So Sati was thinking, he is God. What will people think? He is Bhagavan. He is crying for his wife. In the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, one should be very blissful. Practice before you preach. What happened? Bhagavad Gita is saying practice before you preach. Now he is crying. He is not blissful. Not even an iota of bliss on his face. He is crying because his wife has been kidnapped. So Sati had questions. So she decides to go and test Sri Ram. Now this is the last thing you want to do. Abel mujhe mar. This is the last thing you wanted to go and test the Supreme Lord. So Sati goes and she disguises herself as Sita. I am very happy that in Kali Yuga people don't have the Shakti to disguise. Two things are very nice. People don't have the Shakti to disguise and they don't have the power to curse. Imagine if people had the Shakti like Durvasa Muni. Sunday feast, no paneer, curse. Very dangerous situation. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is indeed most merciful. No cursing and you can't disguise. Of course, those who are very, very exalted, Siddha Mahapurush, whatever they say is Vak Siddhi. If they say something, that comes true. But this power is not given for every layman in the street. Only those who have earned it have Vak Siddhi. Vak means our speech and Siddhi means perfection. So many times we see, even if in our astrological chart, if something is not there, but a pure Vaishnava has said, then that will come true because they have Vak Siddhi. But this holds true for those who are pure. Now, Sati disguises herself as Maya Sita and she goes in front of Sri Ram and Sri Ram here is crying. So Sati goes in the form of Sita and says, my dear Lord, why are you crying? I'm here. The Sita whom you're crying for is standing in front of you. And Sri Ram, when he sees, he looks to the other side. Sri Ram is not interested. So she comes from the other side and says, my dear Lord, I'm there. You're crying for me. Your Sita is here. Sri Ram looks to the other side. Nahi dekhna hai. In the Bhagavatam also, when Brahmaji, he does the whole scene, Brahma Vimohan Leela. After he comes to Vrindavan and chants prayers, he is glorifying Krishna with verses after verses after verses. Naumidyate Bravipushe Tadidambaraya Gunjavatam Paripiksha Lasan Mukhaya Vanya Shraje Kavalavetra Vishana Menum Lakshmi Shriya Mradupate Pashupangajaya. He chants big verses. And Krishna is least interested. Krishna is feeling embarrassed because Krishna's friends are there and Brahmaji is saying, my dear Krishna, you're Bhagavan. And Krishna's friends are thinking, our friend is God? He lies. He steals. He climbs on our back and steals the butter pot. And this Brahmaji who has 4 heads is calling him God. What is wrong with him? He has 4 heads, but seems like he's not got it. He's calling our friend God. He has not attended DYS class, Journey of Self-Discovery. He is calling our friend God and Krishna is not interested. Krishna is getting embarrassed. Krishna looks at Brahmaji and almost trying to say, can you just leave? You're embarrassing me in front of my friends. Can you just go? And he's chanting verses after verses and Krishna is not interested. Finally, when Brahmaji starts glorifying the residents of Vrindavan, Ahoti dhanya brajagoramanya. Ahoti dhanya brajagoramanya. Krishna, you are fortunate. You are indeed very fortunate. Aho bhagyam, nanda gopa brajaukasam. Krishna, you are very, very fortunate. Why? Because you have them in your life. They are fortunate, yes, but you are more fortunate because you have got them. We consider ourselves fortunate when we have Krishna in our life. But imagine Krishna saying, I am fortunate because this devotee is there in my life. Imagine Krishna saying, I am fortunate because Alankar Prabhu is there in my life. It's a big statement. It's a big statement. So when Krishna hears this, Krishna feels very happy. His devotees are being glorified. And now Krishna looks at Brahmaji. Up until this while he was not interested. So now likewise, Sati is coming in the disguise of Maya Sita and is looking at Sri Ram and trying to convince Sri Ram that I'm your wife, I'm Sita. But Sri Ram is just looking here and there. And then Sri Ram thinks to himself, if you can play game with me, don't forget, of the cheats, I am the greatest gambler. जिस स्कूल के आप स्टूडेंट हो, I am the principal of that school. If you think you can play a game with me and disguise, don't think I cannot do that. So now Sri Ram decides to show his godly abilities. When Sati as Sita is seeing Sri Ram, all of a sudden she sees that Sri Ram is first in separation, crying, and then he is with Sita, then crying, then with Sita, then crying with Sita. Sambhog Vipralamba, union, separation, and Sati as Sita, her head is spinning. He was crying, and where did all of a sudden Sita come from? And again Sita is not there, and again Sita comes. So Sati, her head is spinning, just like our head is spinning. Who is the actual Sita right now? Is it that Sita or is it Sati as Sita? Her head is spinning. In the Rai Ramananda Samvad also we find Chaitanya Mahaprabhu switches his forms in front of Ramananda Rai. Pahila dekhila tumar sannyasi swarup, ebe tuma dekhe moi Shama Goparup. Ramananda Rai looks at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and says, Pahila dekhila tumar sannyasi swarup. My dear Lord, first I saw you are like a sannyasi, but now, ebe tuma dekhe moi Shama Goparup. Now you are like Sham Goparup as Vrindavan Krishna, but once you are like sannyasi, but another time you are like Sham Goparup. So Mahaprabhu was changing, like what Sri Ram was changing. And after one point, Sati understood that seems like I messed up with the wrong person. He is Bhagavan. So she understood her mistake. And she fell at the feet of Sri Ram. And she again now went back to Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva was doing his tapasya. So he saw Sati. And he looked at Sati and asked, what happened? You went to test my Lord. What happened? What was the result? And Sati said, no, nothing. But what were you saying? What tapasya were you doing? Lord Shiva said, don't change the topic. You went to test my worshipable Lord Sri Ram. What happened? Sati was very embarrassed. What can I say? She was so embarrassed. She looked at Lord Shiva and said, my dear Lord, I made a mistake. I realized that he is Supreme Lord. He is Maryada Purushottam. He is Bhagavan. And he is playing the role of a human. He is not a human. He is performing human-like pastime so that it is relatable for us. Imagine the wife being kidnapped and Sri Ram is smiling. Our mentality is such, we have a problem both ways. If wife is kidnapped and Ram is smiling, hey, what type of husband? Wife is kidnapped, still husband is smiling. If Ram is crying, he is Bhagavan, still crying. We have problem both ways. If he cries, problem. If he smiles, problem. Kare to kya kare? So Sri Ram is also in a predicament. So Sati comes back and she tells Lord Shiva that, my dear Lord Shiva, I realized my mistake. He is Bhagavan. And I also fall at your feet because he is your worshipable Lord. And I tried to test your worshipable Lord. Lord Shiva had warned that he is Bhagavan. But still she did not accept and she tested. And Lord Shiva was so upset that his own wife ended up testing his worshipable Lord. Lord Shiva was so upset that he left that place. I don't want to be in a place where my Lord is not respected, even if it is my own wife. So Lord Shiva left. This brings us back to the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the fourth canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, you have the episode of Daksha, right? We have the episode of Daksha. And cutting a long story short, it is an episode of curses and counter curses. Goes back and forth. May you be this, may you be that. May you be this, may you be that. The javelin of curses are thrown back and forth. I said, good that we don't have that Shakti to curse. Otherwise, this is a very dangerous situation. Prabhuji, you chanted the verse wrong. Curse. Tathastu. So, very nice that people don't have that Shakti. So, in the fourth canto of the Bhagavatam, we have the episode of Daksha. And in that episode, we find Sati, when the big sacrifice is taking place, Sati comes down. And Lord Shiva is not invited. But Lord Shiva is not affected. Yes, okay. Nahi bula, nahi bula. Srimad Bhagavatam is filled with examples. Is filled with examples that we can relate to. Oftentimes we say, that devotee had a housewarming ceremony. All the congregation devotees were called except me. प्रभु जी सबको बुलाया, मैंने क्या पाप किया? सबको बुलाया था. Everyone was called, they just ignored me. There was a birthday party, all my friends were called, only I was not invited. Don't worry, Lord Shiva is also there in this category. Everyone was invited, Lord Shiva was not invited, but Lord Shiva didn't care. He was completely fine. So Sati comes down, and there we see Daksha does not have very appreciative words of Lord Shiva. So Sati gets so insulted that she decides to give up her life. The fire of insult that she hears ends up as external fire and consumes her life. And she gives up her life. But in reality, this is external. Iha bahya. Iha bahya age kaho. This is external. She giving up her body because Lord Shiva was not invited or he was not respected. This is external. Shastra explains, in reality, she wanted to give up her life. Why? Because with that body, she tested and doubted the Supreme Lord Maryada Purushottam Ramachandra. She was feeling so guilty. What is the use of this body if with this body I test Sri Ram? With this form of mine, my own husband as Lord Shiva is not ready to be with me. What is the use? So she decided to give up her life. And the next life, she comes back as the daughter of the Himalayan mountains. The daughter of Parvat is Parvati. She comes back as the daughter of Parvat, Himalayan Parvat, as Parvati. And then Himalayan Parvat, he goes to Lord Shiva and begs, "Can you please marry my daughter?" And then Lord Shiva agrees. The day when Lord Shiva again marries Parvati, who is none other than Sati, that day of marriage is nothing but Mahashivratri. So Mahashivratri is nothing but the wedding anniversary of Lord Shiva. The day when Lord Shiva and Parvati come together. Parvati is not different from Sati. But what is the origin? Where did it start? It started from the pastimes of Sri Ram. So Maryada Purushottam Ramachandra is there even in the pastimes of Lord Shiva. And this is why we say, when we speak about Lord Shiva, we always say Lord Shiva's tongue is always chanting the name of Sri Ram. His tongue is always chanting Ram, 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 constantly chanting the name of Ram. Not Aram, Ram. When you constantly chant Ram, 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 it only means Aram, Aram, Aram. Prabhu ji Aram kar rahe, aap bolte jaiye. We are anyway resting. Just like Mara, 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 Mara becomes Ram, Ram, like that Ram, 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 Ram also sound is Aram, Aram, Aram. It depends on how we perceive it. So his tongue is constantly chanting the name of Sri Ram. This is why they always say that those who leave their body in Kashi, Lord Shiva is the Lord for Kashi. Varanasi Purapatim Bhaja Vishwanatham He is the Lord of Kashi. And it is believed anyone who leaves their body in Kashi will get the Supreme Lord. Why? Because it is believed that Lord Shiva who's present there is always chanting Ram, 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 Ram. And any person who's departing this world, Lord Shiva is coming to the ear of that person and chanting Ram, 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 Ram. So naturally, when you hear the name of Ram from a Shuddha Vaishnava like Lord Shiva, naturally you have to be liberated. Naturally, you have to be liberated. So Lord Shiva is constantly chanting the name of Sri Ram, and this name of Sri Ram is very, very powerful. Very powerful. The name of the Lord is very powerful. One time, one person came to Prabhupada, and his name was Hans Carey. Now he was a German, and he didn't like his name because that time Germany, like there were few names that were kind of isolated, were not much respected. You had the Jews and the different things that were going on. So his name was Hans Carey. And as the name was there, he was not very respected. So he always wanted a new name. When he came to ISKCON, he was very happy. He was happy for the fact that process is nice, prasadam is there, but name will be changed. Different people come to ISKCON with different moods. 99% come for this, but there is 1% who will come for different reasons also. So he was very happy that name is going to be changed. He met Prabhupada, got inspired by Prabhupada, got inspired by philosophy. Day of initiation, he went to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, so your initiated name is Hansa Duta Das Adhikari. So he looked, and Prabhupada said it was very easy. Your name was Hans, just add a Dut after that, Hansa Duta. And it was Hans Carey, before Carey add Adi. So he was thinking, before Diksha also name same, after Diksha also name same. Hansa Duta Das Adi Carey. He was thinking, Are Bapre, Diksha ke baad bhi naam wahi mila. Now he wanted to know what the name means. So he was in one morning walk, and he asked Prabhupada, what does Hansa Duta mean? Because those days no Veda base everything, so they naturally hear everything from Prabhupada. So he went to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, what does Hansa Duta mean? Prabhupada said, read Bhagavatam. Now no Veda base, no control F. You cannot go to Veda base and do a control F and look for Hansa Duta. Imagine page to page you have to read. So you ask a question and now you are in the wrong side. Because next time if Prabhupada meets you and comes to you and asks what is Hansa Duta and you have no answer, problem ho gaya. So he tells Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, what does Hansa Duta mean? And Prabhupada says, read Bhagavatam. So he doesn't say anything. After a few months, in some other place, he was there in a morning walk. So he again asked Prabhupada. Prabhupada was in a very jolly mood. So he again asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, what does Hansa Duta mean? Prabhupada said, read my books. So he understood that seems like Prabhupada is not in a mood to reveal what the meaning is. Prabhupada, after a few months, was in Toronto in a room conversation. And Prabhupada was saying, Tamal Krishna means this, Kalandara means this, Kirtanananda means this, Jaya Advaita means this. Hansaduta Prabhu got very happy. He put his hand up and said, Prabhupada, who is Hansaduta? Prabhupada said, you. Prabhupada said, you. Prabhupada was playing with him so much that he never revealed what the name is. My goodness, Srila Prabhupada ki. So this name is very interesting. Who is Hansaduta? Prabhupada said, you. Everyone else in the room, he was ready to explain, who is Hansaduta? You are Hansaduta. So the name of the Lord is very interesting. So why are we talking about name? Because we are saying that Lord Shiva is chanting the name of Sri Ram. In the Ramayana, there's a very interesting episode. After Sri Ram killed Ravana and the whole pastime was done, and Vibhishan was made the king, the ministers, they went to Vibhishan to ask him, how did the whole Vanar Sena come to Lanka? So Vibhishan explained how the bridge was made, how the bridge with rocks were made, and how the name of Sri Ram was written on that. So this minister heard all these things, and he thought, rocks were floating by writing the name of Sri Ram? So Vibhishan said, yes, I was witness, I saw that. And he gave a piece of leaf, he gave a leaf Patram. And in that leaf, he wrote the name of Sri Ram. And Vibhishan gave this to the minister. And he said, you take this and you try. If you doubt the name of Sri Ram, you try. Hold this name of leaf in your hand, right? I've written the name of Sri Ram. Now you try to cross. So he had the name of Sri Ram on his leaf and he started crossing. And the water was only knee deep. And he crossed half. And he thought, hey, what bogus. Maybe this ocean is naturally knee deep. What can this one leaf do? What can this one name of Sri Ram do? Maybe Vibhishan was an illusion. Maybe he didn't see properly. Maybe I know the real truth. The ocean is naturally knee deep. It's not very, there's no need of this leaf. So he just tore it apart and he threw it. And the Ramayana explains the moment he tore it apart and he threw it, Varun Dev, the ocean god, consumed him in one go. In one go, that ocean, which was knee deep, by the power of the name of Sri Ram, now was enough to swallow. For Varun Dev, it was Mahaprasade Govinda. In one go, he swallowed this minister. What is the teaching, dear devotees? Till the time there is faith, this process makes sense. Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Kahe Sudrida Nishchay Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. Till the time there is Shraddha, till the time there is faith, results are guaranteed. But the moment doubt creeps in, aisa kaise hoga? Maybe it happened in Treta Yuga, maybe this process is not valid in Kali Yuga. Maybe it happened for him, but for me it will not happen. If doubts are there, then this process will never work. The name of Sri Ram is so powerful that even the whole ocean can seem knee deep. And when that same name of Sri Ram is thrown back, then it is good enough to consume us. The Bhagavatam explains, Samashritaye padapallavaplavam bhavat padam punyayasho murare bhavam buddhirvatsa param padam yat vipadam natesham. 10:14:58 Bhagavatam. When we hold on to the lotus feet of Krishna, or when we hold on to the chanting of his holy names, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. When we hold on to the lotus feet of Shri Radha Chabar or Maryada Purushottam Ramachandra, that ocean of material existence, which is very, very difficult to cross, will become knee deep. What to speak of knee deep? Bhagavatam explains that water will be so small, it will be the size of the hoof print of a calf. What is the size of a hoof print of a calf? Maybe this much. And if the water is this much, you can jump. You can jump over. So to that person who holds on to the name of Sri Ram, who holds on to the lotus feet of Sri Ram, the ocean of material existence becomes so small. But when we make our own plans like the minister, that I can maintain myself, I don't need this process, I don't need the name of Sri Ram. When you make your own plans, then like the minister, we fail. We fail miserably. One time, Yamaraj, the personality whom we fear the most. One time Yamaraj, he came to Jagannath Puri to take darshan of Lord Jagannath. Because Yamaraj is also Mahajan. Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumara, Kapila, Manu, Prahlada, Janaka, Bhishma, Bali, Vayasaki, Vayam. Yamaraj is quoting this verse. So one time Yamaraj goes to meet Lord Jagannath. And while he goes to meet Jagannath, he looks to the side. And to the side there is one sparrow. In one corner, one sparrow is sitting. So Yamaraj looks at this sparrow for a good amount of time. And now you know, if Yamaraj is looking at you for a long time, it's not a very good sign. It only means he's preparing red carpet entry. Swagatam, Swagatam, Suswagatam, Aiye. He's preparing red carpet entry. If Yamaraj is looking at you for a long time, not good. Krishna looking at you for a long time, wonderful, brilliant. So now he was looking at the sparrow. The sparrow's heartbeat was duk, 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 duk. And from a distance, Garuda was seeing. Garuda saw, hey, Yamaraj is seeing the sparrow for a long time, not good. Garuda understands. And now Yamaraj saw, and Yamaraj went inside to take darshan of Jagannath. He took darshan of Jagannath, spoke to Jagannath, and when he came out, he was again looking outside. So Garuda came and said, "Are you looking for something? Are you looking for something?" In the meantime, when Yamaraj had gone inside, Garuda thought to himself, "I should do something. The life of this sparrow is in danger, and I am the protector. If I don't protect, who will protect?" So he picked up the sparrow and he flew all the way to Mansarovar. And in Mansarovar there was a tree, and in the tree there was like a hollow, um, a hole. And he kept the sparrow in that hole. And he told the sparrow, "Now you are safe. Now Yamaraj cannot see you. Now you are safe." And he again flew back to Jagannath Puri. And when he again came back, now Yamaraj comes back after taking darshan, and he is looking around. So Garuda looks at him and says, "Did you forget something? Are you looking for someone?" Yamaraj says, "Yeah, there was one sparrow here, and I'm looking for that sparrow." Garuda says, "Acha, what happened? What happened to that sparrow?" Now Garuda is acting as if he doesn't know. Yamaraj says, "Actually, according to my calculation, the sparrow should have died at this point in Mansarovar. I don't know how it was here." And when Garuda heard this, this sparrow was perfect. I made my own plan, took it to Mansarovar, and while Yamaraj was saying this, there was a snake in that hole who killed that sparrow. So when we make our own plans, even if you're Garuda, it can backfire. Garuda was thinking, this sparrow was perfectly there. I thought I am the protector, and I went to protect. And I made sure that Yamaraj's track record is 100%. So when we make our plans, dear devotees, it fails. But when we give the control to the Supreme Lord, then He will never make mistakes. He will never make mistakes. The minister made his own plan of throwing the name of Sri Ram, but the ocean completely consumed him. In the Ramayana, very beautifully we find, when we're talking about Garuda, there is this pastime of Jayanta. Jayanta is a crow, and he is the son of Indra. So one time Maya Sita was there and Sri Ram were there, and no one was there around. And now Jayanta was a little lusty. So sitting on the branch of a tree, he was seeing Maya Sita. And he jumped onto the shoulder of Maya Sita and started pecking her chest. And Sri Ram saw this. And Sri Ram understood that this crow Jayanta does not have very right spirit. He is lusty. So Sri Ram took a blade of grass and he chanted mantras and he shot that blade of grass. And now that blade of grass was traveling like a Brahmastra. Just like we find Durvasa Muni was running here and there for his offerings to Ambarish Maharaj. And nothing could work out. But only when he came back, it fell at the feet of Ambarish Maharaj, he was forgiven. Likewise, Jayanta, when this blade of grass of Sri Ramchandra was chasing him, he didn't know where to go. He went to Chandra, Agni, Vayu, Varuna, please help, please help, please help. They said, we cannot do anything. This is Sri Ram's arrow. What can we do? He went to his father, Indra. He said, please help. Indra said, why are you asking me? Birds of the same feather flock together. I did Govardhan Leela. I did so many other pastimes. I am Devaraj, but I have, in the history of Shastra, I have tested the Supreme Lord maximum. So please don't come and ask me. I don't know what to do. You did something wrong. You figure it out. I have no idea. So Jayanta again flew and he came and fell at the feet of Sri Ram, asking for forgiveness. Sri Ram said, I can't help it. Ask forgiveness from Maya Sita. And Maya Sita never took it as an offense, so she forgave. But Sri Ram, he thought to himself, this arrow has already been released. Now I cannot take it back. I have already released this arrow, but I cannot take it back. So this arrow that was shot, it pierced the eye of Jayanta, the crow. And this is why whenever we see the crow, of course, maybe not much in America, but if in India you go, you have like a conference of crows. Wherever you go, you have Groups and groups of crows will be there. And if you see, because of this, when Sri Ram shot the arrow and it pierced the eye, the crow, every time you will see that it has only one eye. It has two eyes, but you will never be in a position to see both the eyes. You can always only see one eye. And Valmiki Ramayana describes it. This happened after this pastime of Sri Ram. So even in Sanskrit grammar, there's a rule based on this pastime called as Kaka Akshari Nyay. Kaka Akshari Nyay. Because it is believed that crows have only one eye. In reality, they have two, but you can always see only one eye. Why? Because that arrow of Sri Ram pierced. So in Shastra, you have examples where even animals have served the Lord, or even animals have been away from the Lord. Give me some examples of animals who have served the Lord. Gajendra, yes. Jatayu, yes. Squirrels, yes. Hanuman, yes. The whole monkey party, yes. Anyone else? Jambavan, yes. Huh? No, we're talking about animals. Those animals who served. Garuda, yes. How can we forget Garuda? Surabhi cow, yes. Surabhi cow serves the Supreme Lord in the form of milk. Wonderful. What else? Parrots. Who spoke the Bhagavatam? That Bhagavatam that we keep as it is. Who spoke that Bhagavatam? Shukadev Goswami, the parrot. Radharani's parrot. So we have animals who have served the Supreme Lord. And likewise, you have examples like Jayanta also, who are little against the Supreme Lord. Apart from Jayanta, do we have any examples of animals? Yes, Dvivida gorilla. And now the examples will come. Agasur, Bakasur, Shakatasur, Trinavarta, Keshi. I was in Portland last Radhashtami, and I was speaking about the pastime of Putana. So I said that Putana, Agasur and Bakasur are two brothers and one sister. Agasur, Bakasur, Putana, two brothers, one sister. And I was saying that is why in Hindi you say Teen Tigda Kaam Bigda. When these three come together, Kaam bigad hi jata hai. Teen Tigda Kaam Bigda. Now when I said this, they started laughing. And this laughter went on for good 5-7 minutes. I thought the joke was not that funny to laugh for 5-7 minutes. So I started thinking, did I make some mistake? I said, no, Shastra says that they are two brothers and one sister. Agasur, Bakasur and Putana, two brothers, one sister. And they were still laughing. So I had to stop and said, what happened? They said, Prabhuji, we are laughing because in this assembly, interestingly in that assembly, there were two brothers and one sister. There were two brothers and one sister and they were looking at each other and laughing. And all the youth were laughing. And I had no idea why they were laughing. So I said, wherever I give this example, I will make sure I will not give it in Portland next time. It cannot be a coincidence. I said two brother, one sister and exactly two brother, one sister are there. I hope there are no two brothers, one sister here. Any example like that? No. Okay. So, yes, so many examples like that. Aga, Baka, Shaka, Taka. Shastra explains. Agasur, Bakasur, Shakatasur. Aga, Baka, Shaka, Taka. Shastra is like a rap. Aga, Baka, Shaka, Taka. How to remember demons. Aga, Baka, Shaka, Taka. You have all the rap in Shastra. You don't have to go outside for hearing rap. Oftentimes the youth, they hear Hollywood and Bollywood and they start singing rap like dig dig da ding ding da. They all start singing like that. Shastra has all the rap. You want to hear a rap from the Shastra? The Narshika Puran explains this is a Shastric rap, not the Khane wala rap. The time is such. If I say rap, it will be this rap. Shastric rap. In the Narsinga Puran, there is this verse. Satye daitya kuladi nash samaye sim urda martya kriti treta yam nashakandaram paribhavam rameti nama kriti gopalam paripalayam rajapure bharam haram dvapare gauranga priya kirtane kaliyuge chaitanya nama prabhu. Shastrik rap ki jai. Shastra has everything. Pibada bhagavatam rasamalaya muraho rasika bhubi babuka. Someone who has tasted the nectar of Shastra will never have any impetus to go outside. If we are going outside, it only means we have not tasted the nectar of Shastra. Period. Shastra has everything. It has all the juice, all the nectar, and all the wrap. There's no need to go outside. So, we are making this point of the animals and how animals serve and how there are some animals who don't serve. The devotees are such, they can make anyone serve the Lord. When we chant, Gauranga Prabhu in one class was saying, he was saying, when we chant, ideally the mood should be, my dear Lord, please engage me in your service. But the Kali Yuga mindset is when we chant, our mood is, my dear Lord, please engage him in your service. Gauranga Prabhu was saying, my dear Lord, please engage him in your service. We don't want to do, we want to delegate. Engage him in your service. So we find devotees can engage anyone. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, one of Prabhupada's very stalwart disciples, African lion, the black lotus. Very, very powerful disciples of Prabhupada who were there present and also who lived in the past. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj had the desire of preaching in the Soviet Union. And at that time, the KGP rule was there. So it was practically next to impossible to preach there. And he wanted to go and establish ISKCON center in a place where it's practically impossible. So he loaded a truck of 5,000 Bhagavad Gitas. 5,000 Bhagavad Gitas. And he wanted to take this to the Soviet Union to preach. And along with the 500 Bhagavad Gitas, in that truck, he also kept a dog. Now you may be thinking, what is the connection? Bhagavad Gita, preaching and dog. When I was coming here to Columbus, in my flight from, I had a one stop. So when I was coming from Las Vegas to Columbus, so next to me, one Mataji was sitting. And this Mataji was carrying two dogs. And the dogs were nicely covered in a bag. She was petting the dog. She was kissing the dog. She had all the ecstatic symptoms seeing the dog. And I was thinking, this is exactly the opposite version of devotees carrying the deities. When devotees go from one place to another, we in a nice box, we carry Gaur-Nitai or we carry our deities. And here, same bag, same proclivity, same mindset, but the thing carrying is different. So the tendency is there to serve, but we are serving the wrong person. And so much so that she had a nice trolley for the dog. She would keep the bag in the trolley and nicely she was pulling the trolley. So the dog was getting like VIP treatment. Sitting in economy, he was getting VIP treatment. So Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj in the truck, he was driving the truck, he loaded 5,000 Bhagavad Gitas. And he also brought a dog. Now devotees had no idea what is the purpose of this dog. Maharaj was driving and he reached the place where they are going to check. And now it's a very strict rule. So when they reached that place, they saw Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. And this person who was there, he saw the dog. So he looked at Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj and said, you cannot take the dog. So Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said, please allow me to take the dog. He is my pet dog. And this person said, no, you cannot take the dog. He said, this dog has been there with me from childhood. We have played together. We have eaten together. We have laughed together. He is so dear to me. Please allow me. And this person said, no, no, you cannot take the dog. He said, I'm falling at your feet. Please allow me to take the dog. This person said, you please understand. If you take the dog, my job is at stake. You do whatever you don't, but please don't take the dog. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said, so what should we do with the dog? This person said, you can release this dog in the forest. I will help you. You don't even have to do that. I will help you release this dog in the forest, but please don't take the dog inside after this limit. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said, okay, with a very heavy heart, I am giving this dog to you. You please take care of this dog. This person said, yes, I will take care of this dog. He took the dog, opened the gate, and 5,000 Bhagavad Gitas went inside Soviet Union. Now you may have this question, what is the purpose of the dog? The purpose of the dog was to distract his attention. Real story. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj used a dog to distract the attention of this guard. And that's how 5,000 Bhagavad Gitas entered Soviet Union and Prabhupada's mission started spreading. Krishna Bhakta Ai Bada Chatur. If someone is intelligent, they can even make use of a dog for preaching. What to speak of devotees? The Supreme Lord is very kind. Last few minutes. The Supreme Lord is very, very kind. One time, Hanuman, he came to Maya Sita. And as we know, Sri Ram had given the ring, the Suvarna Mudra. He had given the ring and he told Hanuman, you please and give it to Maya Sita. So Hanuman flew and he gave it to Maya Sita. And when Maya Sita saw, she had tears in her eyes. And she told Hanuman, Hanuman, can I tell you something? And Maya Sita started speaking. She said, my dear Hanuman, one time I was in man, which means I was in anger, sulking anger. And Sri Ram tried to do everything to pacify me. But I was not in a mood to be pacified. So even the Lord has grahastha problems. Even the Lord has grahastha problems. Wife is angry, husband is not able to do anything. One devotee was telling me, with all seriousness, heartfelt realization, he was telling me, he said, Prabhuji, marriage is a relationship where one person is always right and the other person is called husband. I said, wow. Heartfelt realization. Nothing against the Matajis, but that Prabhuji Uvacha. So even the Lord has some grahastha problems. Maya Sita was angry and Sri Ram was not able to do anything. So Sri Ram took the ring that he had and he placed it on one side of the room. And on purpose, he was searching another side of the room. So Sita saw this and she looked and she thought, if this is how he searches, he's not going to get the ring. The ring is here and he's searching there. He's not going to get the ring. So Maya Sita picks up the ring and she goes and gives it to Sri Ram. And Sri Ram, when he looks the ring, he acts as if he had no idea. He had only placed the ring. He had only placed the ring. And now when Sri Ram sees the ring, Sri Ram has tears. And Maya Sita looking at Sri Ram also has tears. And that anger of Maya Sita completely melts. And both of them again came together. So Maya Sita tells this story to Hanuman when Hanuman gets the ring. And she tells, my dear Hanuman, please go and tell your Sri Ram that seeing this ring, I am remembering that past time where we were again united. And I am hoping and praying that after you have brought this ring, that day is not far when I will again be united with my Prabhu Sri Ram. There was a time when I was separated and that ring brought both of us close together. My dear Hanuman, please give this message to your Ram that his Sita is crying here at Ashok Vatika. May this ring be the start of eternal union between Sri Ram and Maya Sita. And when Hanuman got this, he gave this message to Prabhu Sri Ram. On one side is Prabhu Sri Ram having tears of separation. One side is Maya Sita having tears of separation. How can we understand this pastime, dear devotees? He is the Supreme Lord. If he wants in one go, he doesn't even need the help of Hanuman. He doesn't need the help of anyone. In one go, he can cross over and get Maya Sita back. If he wants, he can give one heart attack to Ravan and Ravan is dead and gone. He doesn't even have to build a bridge. He is Maryada Purushottam Ramachandra. But he is going through human-like emotions so that it's relatable for us. Where he has family problems, where his father has asked him to go out. He's living in a thatched roof. He's living in a cave. There are promises that are broken so that it's relatable for us. Krishna's pastimes are very difficult to relate. Oftentimes people say, Krishna had 16,108 queens. The problem is not Krishna had 16,108 queens. The problem is, why should I have only one? Well, he could even maintain 16,108. The Prabhujis are already smiling. Krishna could maintain 16,108. But it's not possible for a normal person. So if someone is taking that example, we should also see Krishna dance on the hoods of Kaliya. Can we dance on the hoods of Kalia? What to speak of Kalia? One lizard is there and we start jumping. It's a Sunday feast right there, seeing a lizard. So what to speak of dancing on the hoods of Kalia? So we are selective. We take one part of Krishna and say, well, Krishna did that, I also want to do that. Krishna punched Kamsa to death. Kamsa, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains, Kamsa was so powerful, he could pick up an elephant with his left hand. With his left hand. He could pick up an elephant with his left hand, whirl the elephant and throw. He would throw elephants at Jarasan. So Jarasan one day got up and it was raining elephants. Imagine you get up and it's raining elephants. And if you don't know what rain is, please come to Seattle. What you all call as rain is not rain. Come to Seattle. Right now for everyone it is Gyan. For me it is big Gyan. Every single day Seattle rains. Summer, winter, snow, rain is constant. Constant companion. Imagine you get up and it's raining elephants. That is the power of Kamsa. And Krishna effortlessly punches and kicks and rips him apart. That is Krishna. So we cannot imitate Krishna. We can get relishment from his pastimes. But Sri Ram is Maryada Purushottam. From his pastimes, we can understand how to lead a normal life. And the Supreme Lord, I just want to end with this one point. The Supreme Lord is so compassionate. One time when Vishnu entered Vaikuntha, the Shankha and Chakra, they looked at the slippers of Vishnu. The Shankha and Chakra of Vishnu looked at the slippers of Vishnu and they told Vishnu, don't forget your position. Shankha and Chakra, they looked at the slippers of Lord Vishnu and said, don't forget your position. You cannot enter Vaikuntha. You stand out. You be outside. So the slipper of Vishnu, he was feeling sad. Thank you so much. He was feeling very sad. Maybe we can do it after. I don't know. Because small kids are so attractive. If they start walking, naturally the heads, they naturally move. It's like Krishna playing the flute. Krishna played the flute and all the gopis ran. Naturally, one small kid walks and all the heads move. The Indian style of moving head is very unique. You don't know whether it's a yes or no. You take it as you want. Whether it's a yes or no, you take it. Do as you like. You do as you like. That's the Indian style. So, Lord Vishnu, he entered Vaikuntha and the Shankha and Chakra, they looked at the slipper and said, don't forget your position. You cannot enter Vaikuntha. And the slipper was, because they are personifications, so he was having tears and he told Vishnu that, Maine kya paap kiya? What wrong did I do? Everyone is hankering for your lotus feet. I am there at your lotus feet. But what wrong did I do? The Supreme Lord, he said, don't worry. My dear Paduka, don't worry. The next incarnation that I take, you will get a position that no one else got. And that is why we find when he comes down as Maryada Purushottam Ramachandra, for 14 years, it is that Paduka who was ruling Ayodhya. Bharat was there, but the Paduka was kept on the throne. Bharat and Shatrughna were worshipping. The Shankha and Chakra were worshipping the Paduka because the Supreme Lord gave that promise. So he is very compassionate. Even if someone is a Paduka, is a slipper, the Lord is ready to give them a very high class position. So what to speak of devotees? If devotees are chanting and hearing, what supreme good fortune awaits us? If a Paduka can get that position, we can be rest assured. If we are chanting, hearing and following Srila Prabhupada and his teachings, that day is not far when we will also get a very prized position in the pastimes of Maryada Purushottam Sri Ramachandra. Sri Ramachandra Bhagavan ki, Sri Patita Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ashish.